Welcome back to the Blueprint. We have Ella here, an SMSU student, and I'm so excited to hear everything about you. So Ella, tell us where you're from initially.
I'm from Olivia, Minnesota, so just an hour away.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How did you get to SMSU?
Well, I always knew about SMSU, obviously, because it's only an hour, but I always wanted to be a teacher, so I figured it's close to home, and it has a good education program, and so that's kind of my deciding points on coming here, so.
So I guess that kind of goes into my next question. What is your major?
Elementary education.
Awesome. Are you enjoying it?
I love it.
Yes.
I absolutely love it.
Awesome. What year are you on?
So technically I'm a senior, but this is only my third year here. So yeah, I'll be graduating in the spring, and then I'll finish my student teaching in the fall, and then I'm done.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I have one of my roommates she graduated from elementary ed too. She loves it. And I love hearing about the kids.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's too many stories.
I bet. Yeah. I bet. Awesome. So I guess like SMSU coming here, it's close to home, good program. Was there anything else on your like decision, or was there something like when you got here they're like, I'm not sure, and then like it made you stay?
Well, I feel like I actually never really thought I was going to go to SMSU because, like, growing up, I was like, their colors are so ugly. I was like, I'm not going to a school that's colors are brown. But, like, I got over that. I actually like brown now. But, like, no, honestly, like, I only toured SMSU. I toured this one in my senior year, and then I was here, and I was like, yep, just feels right. And so I applied that day, and then, yeah, the rest was history. I was just like, it just feels right.
That's awesome.
It's like a nice small school. I have friends who go to big colleges, and they tell me stories, and I was like, that just doesn't sound like something that I feel like I would like, you know? Just, I like knowing everybody. I like how, like, the teachers know your name, like, they know you, and it's just, like, I just like how homey it is, you know?
Yeah. 1,000%. I love that too. Yes, that's for sure one of my favorite parts too. Okay, so tell us, so you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You have your own store, sells clothes and jewelry.
Yes.
How did that come up? Because when you're saying like you want to be a teacher, like how did that come up on your whole like process of becoming an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So actually growing up, my dad owned a business, so that's all I really remember. And then, I work back at home at a nutrition club. My boss is a young woman. And then here I work at the doghouse, who my boss is only a year older than me. And then my coworker at the nutrition club back at home also owns a business. And so I was like, well, this is something that I feel like I could do. Like, just like having such influence with like young female entrepreneurs. And owning a boutique has always been a dream of mine. Pretty much I've always wanted to be a teacher. Like, that's never really been a question. But then my senior year, I started to kind of like, when you actually had to make that decision, I jumbled around with like, do I want to change my major to business all of a sudden? Because I just felt like super pulled to do that.
Right.
And then I was like, but I really wanted to be a teacher this whole time. So I was like, you know what? I can be a business owner without a business degree, because like my dad did it. My coworker, she bought her gym. She doesn't have a business degree. So I was like, I've seen it. My boss at the doghouse also doesn't have a business degree. So I was like, I know that like you don't need it, you know? So then I was like, I'm going to be a teacher because I need to go to school to be a teacher to become a teacher. And that's ultimately like why I made that decision. I also understand like I could have double majored too, but I was just a little overwhelmed by that. So
right. Yeah, big changes, especially like moving away from home, from high school to college. It's like a lot. But I love how you said that. And I think that's like so important too, because so many people think like I need a business major, or, you know, like the business background. But I guess you kind of learn as you go. Yeah. Is that how you felt? Like, what were like, when you started, was there something, or at some point they were like, oh, I'm not sure about this? Or like, how was the whole process?
Yeah, it was overwhelming for sure. I remember I saw a TikTok actually, and it was how I started my business at 19. And I was like, I'm 19. I was like, I wanted to do this for so long. And so I was like, I started actually putting the research into like, what does it take to start a business in Minnesota? So I think I spent maybe a week of my summer going into my second year of college. And I was like, wait, this like actually sounds like something I could do. And so then I started putting up all the costs of what it would take to start it and stuff, because I knew if I presented this is something I wanted my parents I didn't want their permission, but I want them to be supportive about it. So before I like told them about it, I was like, I need to have all of the logistics of it before I tell them about it, because I was like, I really want them to support it. So I did all the research, and then I told my parents I wanted to do it, and they were like, well, you know what? If you wanted to do that, like we'll support you. And I was like, awesome. Like, this is great. And then actually taking those steps, it was constant learning curves for sure. And it's kind of just something you keep learning as you go. I do feel if I had a business degree, it would help. But like, I also have such good mentors around me too. So with my dad, he's helped me a lot. Just like, even just business decisions, I could be like, hey, like, what do you, to these guys, to my like mentors and friends, whatever, like, what do you think? Like, or what have you done? Like, what has worked for you? And it's just like really nice to be able to collaborate with them, because I have other business friends. So it's not like I'm in the dark all the time, you know? So that kind of helps a lot too. Just doing that. My dad hooked me up with an accountant, so like I can ask her questions. She's been great. So I've had really, really good support system in the entire time, which has been really helpful.
Right, I bet. And a little before we started recording, you were saying that you just completed your first year. Is that like how you say it? Like your first year anniversary?
Yes.
So that's so exciting. First of all, what's the name of your boutique, and how can people find it?
It's realambitions.com. And Real Ambitions Boutique is what it is on Instagram, and also Facebook. So yeah, Instagram I feel like is where a lot of my engagement is at. But yeah, it's just realambitions.com. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. On this whole first year, what was the biggest challenge you think you faced?
I think it was kind of the first like transition of that, and also like seeing myself as a business owner. Like, it doesn't always, because I'm online, like I'm not in a store all day, it's like kind of feel like a fraud sometimes. But also just figuring out what customers want. And I feel like that's something I've also, like, there's another lady who does pop-ups in the Olivia area, and she's been so nice to give me advice. Like, she's like, make sure you get rest. Like, you can't always be doing business stuff or whatever. You got to live out your college or whatever. But she's been so good about, like, you know what? You never actually figure out what your customers want. Like, it's always just going to be a gamble. And that's, like, the crazy thing about retail. It's, like, everything you buy to sell is kind of like the lottery in a way. Is like, is it going to sell or is it not? Because sometimes you think something's going to sell and it takes forever to sell. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes you get something, you're like, I don't know how well, like, this is a risk, and it flies off. Like, it's insanely popular. And so it's kind of interesting how that works, and just how getting customers to come and then they get hooked, and then, you know, just like creating the relationships with customers has been very interesting and hard, but it's like so rewarding too, because I've made a lot of good relationships too. That's
awesome to mention that. How do you think the relationship piece works, especially being mainly an online store? Like, how do you think that works? And, you know, like, what do you do to make sure that your customers feel like close to you and, you know, like, appreciated and heard, I guess?
In the beginning, I was really good about kind of sharing life updates. I definitely feel like that was great because people kind of knew what's going on in my life. I could totally be better about that. But doing that, also, I try to be really good about getting back to my customers as soon as I can. So that usually involves, ideally, like within a day. So I try so hard to just be very good about communicating when they reach out to me, and really working with their needs. Like, sometimes they'll be like, I really like this. Do you have this? Or they'll ask me to bring things back in stock, or just like, you know, just kind of listening to their needs and trying to do my best to accommodate. And when a return happens, or something isn't fair, they start, like, you know, whatever reason that is, like, I try to help them out with that the best I can. Or I just really try to be accommodating mostly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What made you decide on like clothing and jewelry? Like, from all the other many things you could choose from, what made you choose that like specific niche?
So people who know me know that I am a shopaholic. Actually, for Lent, I gave up shopping because I literally love it so much. And actually, the reason that I decided on clothes and jewelry is my first job was working in the boutique in Olivia. And so I never had a day going there that I was like, oh, I have to go to work. I loved it so much. And then I would also put most of my paychecks back into it because I was like, this is so fun. So I kind of learned how the whole behind the scenes of a business works with ordering inventory, putting it into a system, just like the little things that you don't always think about. And I also loved doing all of that too while I was working. So I was like, I just want to do that for the rest of my life. And so that was kind of the deciding factor on clothes and jewelry. Because like also I learned different places to buy the clothes and jewelry while I was working there too. So yeah.
What do you think? Okay, now like a harder question, I guess. Okay. What do you think it differentiates you from other businesses around this area or like online boutiques?
Yeah. Well, I think it's kind of, first off, unique. Like when you're supporting my business, it's like you're supporting a super small business. Like you're not giving your money to like big corporations. And it's like I handpick every single thing that goes onto the site. So like everything that is being sold is intentionally decided by me. And I like try to cater to what my customers are wanting. I try to find unique pieces, or I have one vendor who like my jewelry. I try to keep from this one vendor, which is Black Sheep Jewelry, and she hand makes everything. That's and she's awesome. From Minnesota too. So it's really cool. It's like you're getting handmade items that are sustainable and made in Minnesota, which is awesome. And yeah, so it's like basically when you're supporting my business, you get to support my dream, and that's like kind of fun. That's what I like to do too. Like I love to shop at boutiques because I'm like, this is somebody's dream. It's like so cool. You're also just kind of paying for the experience too. It's like if you don't like an item or like it for some reason it doesn't fit you the way you want, like I'm going to be accommodating to you. I'm going to get back to your needs. Where at Target sometimes, or just when something gets lost, like I'm going to do my best to accommodate to the person too. So that's something that I tried my best also.
Out of curiosity now, how hard is it for you to pick stuff and try to kind of like have a variety and not just pick like what you really like? Because I feel like people have like different styles and different, like
for sure
they want different things.
It's hard, honestly, because it's kind of, in a way, it's like a puzzle because certain vendors require a minimum purchase amount. So you might like something on that vendor, but if you can't find other things that you like, you either have to kind of purchase things that maybe those people will like, or you just gotta like it's then you have to find other vendors, or you have to it's kind of like a big puzzle because sometimes then I really like this item, but I can't reach the purchase minimum because I don't feel like anything else will sell. So then I'll go to a different vendor and then I'll add things in there or whatnot, and it's kind of like picking out things too. It's like, well, I already put in this many shirts. I should maybe find a pair of pants or something. Like, it's just like when you're thinking about just the items that you're selling. And I try to make I put them in collections. When I drop clothes, they're kind of in a theme and then it'll be like called a collection. So like I've had one called the Sunny Girl collection, for example, and that was like kind of just like summery kind of clothes. I try to make them all kind of coordinate somehow. Mm-hmm. And so that's another thing is I want the styles of the clothes to also be kind of coordinating in a way. So it's like when you think of all the factors and then also keeping in mind shipping costs and like stuff like that, just because your cart says this number, you also have to keep in mind like, well, they're going to add the shipping to that and then it's tax possibly or whatever. So it's like a big puzzle, but it's really fun, but it can be like a long process sometimes trying to decide.
Yeah. What is the most, like, what is your favorite part of this whole thing?
Yeah. I feel like my favorite part is just kind of like the bonds that I've made through it. I feel like for sure my dad and I have gotten closer through it just because it's like another thing that we could bond over. My friends and I, like my sister models for me a lot. So that's been great. Sometimes she hates it. So I won't like, I loved it when she models for me, but it's kind of sometimes like, she's got to be in the mood. But just like I've had some people come up to me and like, can I model for you? Like if you ever need it,
awesome.
Like people have been so kind to like reach out to me and like, whatever you need, like I want to help you. Or in just like I've had like friends that also want to model, and so like I've had some fun memories made just from like modeling with my friends and like taking pictures of them. And yeah, so it's just like, or even just when we go and find new places to take pictures, like there's just so many like cool memories that are made that I would not have made without it. And it's like just kind of really fun. So yeah,
I love that. It's good that everyone's been kind and like willing to help, and you know, like just all on board.
I was so expectant of hate, kind of. There's not like hate, just like negativity starting it, because I hadn't finished college. It's not exactly the most traditional thing, but for the most part, people have been nothing but super supportive and just excited for me, which is so nice.
And what is the most challenging part of it all, you think?
I think the most challenging part is advertisement, just because I do everything like social media, I package the orders, whatever. Finding something to post every day is so hard. And then also just like keeping in mind all the other things I could be doing for advertising, or all the little things. It's all the little things that kind of add up, honestly. Yeah. It's the tedious things, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Do you, since it's like mostly online store, and you said that Instagram is your biggest and your strongest platform, do you feel like you have customers from kind of like all over, or is it more concentrated in like Minnesota or like other specific areas?
It's definitely more local, but I have sent stuff to California, which is crazy. That's awesome. North Dakota, kind of all of the border states I've sent stuff to. But yeah, when I got one from California, I was like, whoa. I was like, this is so crazy. Or one time, so I had a TikTok page for my store for a little bit, but I ended up deleting TikTok, so I don't do them anymore. But I made one TikTok, and I had, I think, about 15 different, like I can see where locations of people where they're from, where they're viewing my site, and I think I had about 15 different states on that list.
That's awesome.
Within a few days, and I was like, this is crazy. So yeah.
What was like so far, and it's been 1 year, and I'm sure like just hearing you say it's so great to like, and it's so nice to hear the passion that you have, and like how, I don't know, like you just can kind of see your eyes shining and like how much you really like truly enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
What was the biggest thing that you think you accomplished in this first year that you were kind of surprised or like really proud of yourself? Like, hey, this is really awesome. Didn't think I was going to do it on the first year.
Yeah. Honestly, it sounds so simple, but it's just like all of the hurdles that came, I was able to just be able to find a way to like overcome them, because starting my business, I didn't know what was going to, I always hear like, it's not all glamorous, you know, that's especially coming from my dad. He's like, starting a business is not super easy. Like it's going to be challenging. And it was super hard, but just every hurdle that came, I was able to be adaptive, I guess, to them, and just like really gives you the confidence to make decisions and stuff. Because, well, if, for example, like I had a shipment that didn't come for almost a month and a half after I ordered it. And I was like, I need to put this on my site, like whatever. So I had to figure out like how I could get more inventory to come, because I didn't know when that one was coming. And it was just, like it can be super challenging. It can be super frustrating sometimes, but it's like at the end of the day, like I was able to get past it. So it just like makes you feel like good when you are past those like hurdles. And then it makes also just like the rewards and the highs even better. So yeah.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. It's just, I feel like that's probably, like you said, like the most rewarding part is just to see like, yes, I did it. Yeah. And it worked. Yeah. And everything is fine. That's awesome. Where do you, so like mainly now it's online. Do you have like, do you want to pursue like maybe a physical store somewhere? Like, where do you see the store going in 5 years from now?
When I first started it, I was like, yep, like I want to start a brick and mortar. Now I'm like, I don't know. It's a decision I don't actually have to make like right now, but I go back and forth with it, just because if I start a brick and mortar, it's obviously going to take a lot more time and energy, which is okay. I like to stay busy, but with teaching, and I don't know how exactly that might work or what. especially since I've only been in it a year, I'm enjoying the online stuff, and I think someday maybe, but yeah, it's kind of up in the air, and yeah, it's just like potentially in a year, I might also feel like I do want to start a brick and mortar, because also maybe teaching end up when I have my own classroom. I don't see this happening, but if I end up not enjoying it, then that's like a great way to fall back on like plan B, or, so right now I feel like my plans are to keep it online, and then I'll do pop-ups here and there at different locations. I mainly do it at the nutrition club that I work at in Olivia, but those are super fun because it's a lot of work to set it up, but it's really fun because people can shop in person, because that part is so fun. I love watching people pick out the stuff, and getting to talk to them too, which is like, that part is so fun. But I think what I want to do is, when I'm a teacher, that's something I can do in my summers, and then during Christmas break I can do a pop-up, or spring break I can do a pop-up. So it just kind of also adds to the excitement of people getting to come and shop, because people don't get to just come whenever. People get super excited when I do have pop-ups, because then they can come see it in person.
Right. Yeah. Have you ever done a pop-up in Marshall?
I did last summer. Yes.
That's awesome. Where did you do it?
I did it at the doghouse, because it was, I don't know what it's called, but it was like Marshall Days or something, and it's where all of the small businesses go out in their front of their businesses, or on Main Street or whatever.
Crazy Days.
Is it Crazy Days? Yeah, that's when I came. The doghouse had a huge Crazy Days sale, and I just did it in the parking lot there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. We have Crazy Days again this year if you want to
right.
do it. We'll be like telling everyone here, let's go shop.
Yeah, it was so fun.
That's awesome. Yes. Was it like a nice turnout? Did you and it's nice that you're kind of expanding into like the Marshall community too, and kind of being like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Here's my stuff.
I was surprised, because it was kind of a weird location, but it was advertised by the doghouse and me a little bit. I have some friends that stay here over the summer, and coworkers were coming obviously to come shop, because they were super excited. And then I feel like I was surprised at the turnout. It was pretty good. So
that's awesome. Yeah. We kind of funny thing that we kind of talked about before starting is the inventory. Yeah. Because it really makes me think like, do you, like you said, you live in an apartment and you have it all there?
Yeah.
How does it work for you? Like, is it like boxes and boxes, and you're kind of like going home all car packed up, not place for your own things?
Yeah, well, right now I feel like my inventory takes up my whole car for the most part. So when I was moving back home last school year, I had to make so many trips home, because I was not going to take my inventory home until I was moving home for sure. And it's not always even just like inventory. It's like I have a little shipping cart, and so it's like the inventory plus all of the supplies and my printer and stuff like that. It's kind of a lot, but it's okay, because I have a really good system with just those, like, I don't know, those normal container type things. I usually take them out of the box and try to keep them nice in there.
Oh, nice.
And then I'll hang up whatever I can hang up. But yeah, it's a weird system, but I don't know. I feel like the best way to describe it, it's like the most chaotic, organized thing ever. It's like, that's just who I am though. Yeah. It's random, but it works.
Do you get a lot of requests of like friends trying to shop at your house? Yeah.
Yeah. And I anyone who knows me, I'm like, yeah, you can come try on whatever you want. Like, I don't care. Like, just let me know and I'll pull something for you and you come try it on. Or like my friends will be like, can we come shop? And I'm like, yeah, come on over.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like you're probably, since we don't have a mall in Marshall, it's like everyone going to you as like the mall shopping day.
I've had it where like Halloween was coming up and somebody messaged me like, can I come try on that pair of pants? Because I might use it for a costume. I was like, yeah, come on over.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just like last minute sometimes things, people will look on my site and be like, oh yeah, like this is great. And then, yeah. So I've had that for sure.
That's great. Have you taken any like business entrepreneurship classes here, or mainly just education classes?
I've taken mostly education classes. I haven't done any business classes, but I've done like webinars type things.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And like you said, like you kind of gain the knowledge as you go. You have your resources. Networking, super important. You said you have like your whole like family supporting your friends that are going through and have their own businesses.
Yeah.
That's really
I feel
nice.
like it's really to like when you start a business, a lot of it is like there's so many different scenarios. You can do like when you go, you can learn how to deal with the numbers and stuff like that, budgeting and whatever. But just no matter what, you're gonna have things that you have to adjust to and learn. Like no matter what business you have, and I don't even know how you can necessarily teach that. Just like being flexible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Is there one aspect of the business that you think is like the most important for your like success?
I feel like the most important is honestly, I think one of the most important things ever is social media. And I really learned this last semester because I was doing all of my placements and stuff. My days consisted of waking up, doing homework, going to placement, coming back, doing homework until bed, and then literally waking up and doing it again. Yeah. So it was really, really, really hard I would forget to make posts or just like creating posts when I was so busy and just things like that. I guess what is the word I'm looking for? The views on my site went so far down from just that couple weeks of placements.
Yeah. And
it was good to see like what happens if I don't be very active on social media. Social media is insane these days because it's so important because almost everybody's on it. And that's why people are like, oh, that's really cool. Like I should go buy that. Like people are just scrolling and like they see something and that's how they kind of decide, oh, I haven't seen that on her site before. Or like, just things like that. It's like social media is huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just staying connected with customers too. Like that's kind of the main way of doing it. So yeah.
So do you have any more help or any other person that helps you on editing and like Instagram, like all this other pieces of the businesses, or do you do all by yourself?
I do all of that. All of the editing, all of the social media, that's me. I do not like modeling at all, but so that's the main thing that I get help on is just because it's so hard to see how an item is laid on me. And I have like a little remote thing that I can like use my phone and Bluetooth it, but it's just so much more work. So I just think it's so fun to take pictures of other girls and it's just so much more fun. So other than that, that's pretty much, I do everything other than the modeling if I can help it.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that blazer from your store?
Actually, it's from Amazon. The black.
I was looking at it and I was like, oh.
The black bodysuit and the jewelry is from my store.
Nice. Yeah. Yes. We'll make sure to put the store name right here. Everyone go visit and buy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I have had blazers. I just found this one on sale and I was like,
here you go.
I'm not going to lie. This was the way I justified buying it I was like, well, I could wear it to the podcast. So that's why I bought it. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you feel like there's some time of the year that is busier for the store and around holidays and things like that, or not really?
I would say probably just summer's kind of fun because people are just always looking for cute clothes to wear, I guess. Summer was super good for me. I thought the holidays were going to be a little bit better for me, but I feel like with my placements, I didn't do the best advertising possible. I also didn't know exactly what to do because there's so many sales going on during the holiday. Like you have Pink Friday, you have Black Friday the next week, and then you have Cyber Monday, and it's all these things, and I didn't know the extent of like what to do with it. Now, after they're all done and said for and whatever, now I have a better picture of what to do this year. So like that time I was like, I don't even know what to do. So now that, so I feel like summer was just fun because I was able to get like better pictures even. And I think that helped also. Yes. But yeah, just summer's fun because also people are just out and about doing things all the time. And it's just really fun for them to get new outfits and jewelry and just have more time for pop-ups too. And so
I guess to finish, if you can only wear one, like, how do you call that? Not a piece of clothes, like, no, like one item and like one jewelry item, what would you choose?
Oh my gosh. Like from my store?
Yes.
Okay. I have these, on my site, they're called the middle lounge pants. And I wear them all the time. It's not a dressy item. It's a lounge pant. Like, they're just these flowy gray sweatpants. But they're so comfy. I could literally live in them. So I would probably say that. And then for jewelry, oh my gosh. Oh man. I've kept so many gold black sheep jewelry hoops. I don't know how I can pick just one, but just like like any sort of gold hoop, I would say that.
That's what you would choose. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for making the time during your like break to be here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for reaching out to me. I was so honored.
No, this is awesome. It's great to hear that, like you said, you were 19 when you started. You're like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
And this is the whole part of it. It's kind of encouraging more people like,
oh yeah,
hey, we can like find the resources. We can make it work. And it's fun. You enjoy, you build a passion for it. It's awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.